What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday, February 2nd. It's the afternoon, and I just wanted to do a podcast today talking about my photography journey from start to finish. And I wanted to make it clear, real quick, off the bat, I have a humongous camera tattooed on my hand that says about to snap. So if you think I'm done with this shit and I'm going anywhere and I'm not about to produce mass amounts of more timeless masterpieces, you've gotten your freaking brain cooked or something, because that ain't happening. I ain't going nowhere, and my journey with this is not over at all. So I want to just talk to you guys through my whole entire journey, and I'm literally just going to reminisce on it with y'all. So my entire photography journey began because I left a job where I was doing custodial work, and then I did some landscaping work, then I did some IT work for some years, and then things kind of fell apart there. Wasn't really going anywhere, and I was laying in bed the next few days or weeks, and I was like, what am I about to do with myself? And at the time, all the YouTubers were really popular and things were kind of different. I was also, younger minded and less wise, so I was excited by all of the media stuff going on independently. I was very interested by all sorts of different genres of media and photography and filmmaking, as far as GoPros, drones, action footage, the party stuff, nightlife stuff, the nude art stuff, the fashion editorial modeling stuff. I was fascinated and entrenched in all of it. And so it all kind of started for me there. And I went out and bought a Nikon D3400, I believe it was, like a base kit or whatever you call that. And I went around taking pictures of dogs, flowers, my friends smoking weed, just all sorts of random shit, trying to learn about just how photography works, how the social and psychological aspect of imagery works. Trying to understand, obviously, the technicalities of it, but that became a lot more serious as things go on. And so that was kind of the very, very base root of it. It was leaving that job, buying that base camera for cheap, and going around to the Weathersfield Cove with a GoPro drone and a cheap DSLR, taking stupid Instagram photos with my buddies, basically. And it evolved from there. So and then came in the social media aspect. And once I realized that I could kind of game social media, and that I understood that I kind of literally sat there one day and I was like, everybody in the world is just glued to their phone 24 hours a day. And I was saying this to myself in 2018, as a younger man. And I legitimately saw what other influencers were doing and other photographers and etc. And I was like, oh, okay, if I can pump out some shock value or something that's definitively attention grabbing, undeniably going to grab your attention and engage your psyche, if I can put even 15 to 30 seconds of that in front of you on a daily basis, then I win the game. And that was just where my head was at the time. So I went out and I started going on Instagram, using all sorts of crazy hashtags, and I was sending out probably over 100 to 200 DMs every day for 2 years. I was shooting for the stars. I would DM celebrities, massive influencers, anyone imaginable. And I'll get further into that, my whole path working with a couple influencers in a minute, but that's later on. But so it all started doing that, and then I slowly kind of started finessing my way, or trying to finesse my way into kind of more brand and modeling agency shoots. So, and before I even get there, I should shout out my boy Moby Mav and all the people that ran and participated in the photo plug with him and I, and all the other people that created it, Katepa, all these other people. I don't need to list all these names and put people out there for no reason if they don't want to be. But like that was a big community thing, and Moby taught me a lot about the technicals of photography and like how to pose models, and just like helped me get confidence with that kind of instruction, because I've always had like kind of, I don't want to say a weakness, but like a hesitance to do, I used to have like a hesitance to do public speaking and like directive kind of behavior, and not anymore because it's necessary for survival and success, which I learned. But so shout out to Moby and the Photo Plug back then for, giving me a community to practice with and experiment with and network with, and also teaching me tons of technicalities regarding photography and studio shooting and posing and etc. that I would have never possibly figured out, or would have taken me significantly longer to figure out. So that was an interesting part of that path. So yeah, it kind of all actually began. I was doing like photo shoots with this guy Stevie Max, who's a rapper in Connecticut. I'm not sure where he's at these days, but he's pretty cool. He makes some good shit. And I was like filming like little video. That's how it kind of started. I tried doing like these little video like montage things from like going to concerts or nightclubs, like, kind of like more local stuff. And it was pretty cool, and I was like using this provocative style, and it was really getting people's attention, like in my area specifically, I feel like, because people weren't really used to it, I think, or they just hadn't seen it in a while, maybe. I don't know. It was just working. And so there was that whole path. And then so like the Photo Plug thing led me to begin just networking constantly with people, where I was literally, like I said, DMing hundreds and hundreds of people weekly, maybe up to 1,000 on every week. My fingers were glued to the phone like a machine 24 hours a day, trying to network with the biggest people possible. It was like information like war. And so eventually all those kind of, like Instagram meetup photo shoots that I created for myself eventually led to some more serious and or lucrative opportunities. So one of the next steps in this journey was doing some brand shoots. I did a shoot for LF the brand. I think it was like their grand opening in Greenwich, Connecticut, which was really cool. And I met a model there who's pretty successful ballerina. I'm not going to call her out by name because I don't want to, I don't know if she wants to be talked about or anything, but I worked with her multiple times for a few years. She was incredibly talented, and that was a very cool experience to work with her. You can go see my photos with her on my Instagram everywhere. And she's shot with some incredible photographers that are very well known. So along with that, the brand stuff that I got to do, I also got involved with this brand Alice and Olivia through a stylist, Monica, that I was friends with for a long period of time. I just haven't spoken with her in a while, but and she got me involved doing some brands using styling from, doing shoots using styling from this Alice and Olivia brand, which was really cool. And she also brought like her own twist to everything as well, which really helped me get some creative shoots in as well back in this time period, like pre-pandemic kind of. And so I did some of these in Boston. I did a ton of these in New York. And I'll actually get to all the locations I've shot at momentarily. And there's so many cool shoots. Like I'm looking through this old portfolio I made when I went to Heroes NYC to do a little like interview or consultation thing. And I literally have all these modeling cards or whatever you call them in front of me. Like David Yang, Andrew Troy, Matthew Later, Emmeline Bridges, Molly Finnegan, Richie Hines, Gianna Noel, Louise Piva. And it's got like their height, suit, waist, inseam, shoe, hair, eyes. It's crazy. These are well done cards too. It's impressive. But so, and then like I went to Chicago, Boston. I was doing studio shoots with Moby at his studio that he had in West Haven or something for a while, or New Haven. I can't remember exactly where. That was a good spot though. I was doing shoots with Lily Vachon in Rhode Island, I think, or something. I mean, I was doing shoots with my fiance all over the place in studios in New York, luxury hotels, anywhere cool we could get. I did, Joshua Tree. My fiance and I drove to Joshua Tree after we got super messed up one night in Los Angeles. That was crazy. And yeah, dude, even I'm looking at these old photos from when I went to LA and I was shooting the ballerina chick in thigh high Gucci boots, like in a wooden, like Western desert abandoned like building. Oh my God, some of these are looking back and reminiscing on this is unbelievable. Some of these portraits from the photo plug meets too, like, oh man, and like, oh, and so I also did like these shoots with this model Monique in Hartford, and she like I did these crazy double exposures with her, and I always loved working with her because she would just flow. Like you didn't have to tell her a word; she would just model away. That was always the best, man. Was working with models that just they would like hear the shutter and just do the next thing. You don't even have to like. I used to hate going. The worst thing ever was you go to a shoot and the model's like, "So what do I do? What do I do now?" All right, and like every shutter click, they're like, "What do I do next? What do I do with this hand? What do I do with this finger? What do I do with this eye?" It's like, yo, like I thought you were a model, dog. And I'm not saying that about any of the people I've worked with. I'm just saying like it's out there. So there was some real cool ones I did for I think it was state management in NYC that I kind of like orchestrated myself. And those were the ones at Mona Lisa Studio where there was like the model with like the phone and the gold ornate chairs and all the like leaves behind and standing in the bathtub and everything. Some of these are awesome. The one of the chick like on the silver disco ball thing, and like I love all my old fine art nudes like that I've shot in like abandoned houses and stuff. Like, dude, I was going to Massachusetts, linking up with like stranger models that are strangers to me on Instagram, and we were like just going into abandoned houses, like doing like masterpiece photo shoots, yo. Like I'm looking at this photo of this girl laying, I think her name was Sarah, this girl laying on a piano, nude, and there's like literally like old ripped up like ancient music note papers on the piano, and she's like reaching down to the piano. It's like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's such a story. Like I got this one of this dude Regal Jason who I shot with in LA on a whim in front of some big structure. It's crazy looking back at this stuff, man, and just knowing like the ability I had to network with this level of people. And that's just the freaking not even close to the tip of the iceberg. Like we're like still at the preface of the whole career here. So that was cool as hell. And so from there, I guess you could say the next step in the journey was getting deeply entrenched in the nightlife scene and the nude art / provocative kind of scene. So I had seen my boy Kirill, I believe, on this show on Showtime, I think, called like 3 a.m. or some shit like that. And I think that dude, like, I don't know, there were some other influencers on there. I can't even remember their names, to be honest. But I remember seeing what Kirill was doing. And I remember being like, holy fuck, that's exactly what I want to be doing, yo. And I don't even mean like the social media part. I just meant like the photography of total debauchery, or however you say that, debauchery, like just live, raw, uncut, uncensored, like in your face, like right there at the scene of the action. Like to me, it was like war photography, like nightlife edition. Like I thought it was the coolest shit. And I'm not trying to like put his business out there and like talk about him. I'm just saying my own, story or whatever. So I started going to Shrine nightclub and stuff, literally sneaking cameras in, tiny cameras, DSLRs, everything, for like 1 or 2 years straight, because I had like developed relationships with some of the people that were, kind of VIP rollers all the time at the tables, and they were cool with me around, and I was likely providing some sort of perceived value with the imagery that I was basically providing people. And so I like started learning about the psychological aspect of like how you can influence people basically, and how content and imagery and media can almost make people like go crazy. And I also learned a lot about like directing, like in just like live directing, just like walking into a nightclub and like having the balls to just go up to someone and say like, "Yo, you want the craziest photo ever? Do this crazy shit right now. We'll get it. Are you down or not?" And it really works when and it. I had to use a lot of liquid courage at times to get the confidence to do a lot of that crazy shit when I was young, because I was just like kind of nervous, but pushing through those uncomfortable moments and like I love all of my photography so much, and I'm so grateful that I pushed myself to like the brink of insanity to get it all, because it's worth it, and it's you. It's like it's you. When you create images like that, it's yours, you know, and it's not as easy as people think, to be honest. It's a big like operation to make happen. And so I did all those videos myself, kind of going into clubs, sneaking the cameras in, honestly, for I think like a year or two straight before like anything clicked at all. And like it was kind of clicking. Like I had like a little community at Shrine of like people that loved me and like friends and everything, and that was awesome. And I still have a bunch of those people that I love and fuck with to death. But I mean, I've also gotten older now, and I can't, you know, party the way I used to, and I'm also not interested in partying the way I used to 24/7. But so after a few years of doing that, like totally independently, one day I went to one of Kirill's parties at Shrine, and I'm not trying to make this all about I went to one of his parties at Shrine and kind of like had one of the girls I know like finesse my way into his like table. And I spent the whole night, like 3 or 4 hours or whatever, like making a video montage, like a hound, like working like a dog, like, you know what I mean? Like, because I wanted to prove to this guy and everyone watching that like you shouldn't forget me. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I'm gonna make a good impression on you. That's all, like that kind of thing. And it kind of worked. And him and I became friends or acquaintances, whatever you want to call that. And I mean, I would say good friends and great friends actually. And so it kind of turned into a situation where I began getting hired occasionally to do the events, and I kind of got in with the group, and that provided me the opportunity to shoot some of the best content of my life. And if it wasn't for him and his crew, I would have never, like, accepting me wholly, fully, entirely, I would have never in my life been able to get a lot of the footage that I've gotten. So I love you, Kirill. Thank you for everything you've done for me. You're the fucking man. And so yeah, then I for years I was chasing that around, doing photo gigs with that. I went to LA with him and did a merch shoot, which was really cool and a really cool learning experience. I got to meet some really neat people. I met Simon Rex. There was a couple famous chicks like Misty Stone. I'm blanking on the white girl's name right now. I don't know how, because I kind of fuck with her. And I think I said Simon Rex already, but yeah, it was just a cool ass experience, man. Like I met other models that I got to shoot with that have covered Playboy, like Faith Irving, like she's covered Playboy, and I got to photograph her. And these were all major dreams of mine, like real life dreams of mine, like shooting with Playboy type models and etc., and fine art models and etc. when I was this age. And I want to reiterate, like, it's still a dream of mine to do this, and the level I want to do it at has only significantly increased. And I've said this in other episodes, I think, but my motto and my like thesis as a photographer is the best photographers know what not to put out there. So my whole spiel and shtick as a photographer is being as like giving you as little as possible, but as unbelievable high quality as possible. And that's what I believe the photographer's job is. To call out the bad stuff entirely and be so succinct that all there is timeless masterpieces of pure art and pure fascination. So again, shout out to Kirill. Shout out to the models that I worked with him. Shout out to the photo plug. Shout out to everyone at Shrine who fucks with me. Thank all you guys for helping me out and get somewhere with this, because if it wasn't for you guys, I would have never gotten anywhere at all with any of it, most likely. Well, I don't know if that's the case because I'm a pretty crazy motherfucker. But either way, I love all you guys and thank you. And that goes for everyone I've worked with. Every model, every photographer, every person that's given me advice, every person that's critiqued me that made me better, every person that's put pressure on me to make me better. I appreciate that. No lie. So then the next probably step in this journey is, tons of fine art modeling shoots. In kind of simultaneously happening with this whole nightlife journey, which was crazy because it's like I was like getting drunk like every fucking day and then like driving like 6 hours to some other state to shoot with like a model I've never met in my whole life, just solely off like an Instagram DM half the time. And like, don't get me wrong, like a lot of these shoots grew into like paid stuff and etc. But I mean, to build up a massive portfolio in this digital age, I mean, you have to do a lot of physical work, a lot of times at your own expense. And that your expense is time, money, physical health, sleep, everything. So it's a serious operation that I think people really underestimate how much work requires from multiple parties to accomplish. Like social media has kind of created this thing where you just see like a perfectly manufactured photo of some unbelievably stunning model like every 2 seconds of every day, and it warps your mind into thinking that this stuff can be produced in 1 second. It requires serious skill, serious talent, serious education, serious understanding of time, science, lighting, humanity. Like, and when I say humanity, I mean like the psychology of a model and like how to direct a human being to do something to get the look and image you want out of them. It's a lot more complex than I feel like outsiders from the art world kind of realize or want to admit to. This is kind of going on a tangent, and this whole episode might just be a tangent, but I also was going to say, I think there's kind of an underestimation in the level of social importance in being a photographer or any media producer of any sort today, because you don't need to, but like, for example, if I was doing all these photos and just like, printing them for myself and publishing them nowhere digitally to create momentum and snowball the interest and engagement, then there would have never even been my whole run as this crazy photographer. So you need to always remember that there's a very serious marketing, social influence, etc. aspect that these days almost overrides the entire. Well, I don't want to say that, because I'm actually a believer of the opposite, that the quality is so much more important than the social aspect. So don't get it twisted on me saying that. But all I'm saying is that if you don't have the marketing or the following or some sort of engagement or interest locked in, or you don't know how to pique people's interest, like you don't know how to provoke an emotion, you don't know how to, tweak someone's mind to think a certain way or look at things differently. And that's a huge part of what being an artist is, right? So if you can't do that, then it's almost like that's step one, is like understanding the psyche of being an artist to be able to draw out the best possible production from your subjects. And I don't know, maybe that sounds crazy, maybe that sounds incorrect, maybe that sounds not technically proper to, people have been doing this for 500 years. I don't give a shit. This is how I feel. This is my experience. This is what's coming out of my mind, naturally, free thought. So I would say one of the next steps in this journey probably was my book, Efflorescence, which, and this timeline might not be perfect. Like, I'm probably going to bounce around a bit here. I just want to give you guys all sorts of stories. I'm just going through like all sorts of physical and digital content that I've created that I have in front of me, and I'm just going to like give stories about it basically as I go. So in 2021, so during the pandemic, I was like, you know what? The government and all these people are screwing with us so bad, and they're trying to like abolish like creativity and like letting us do anything in the physical world and all this shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take all this content I just put my freaking life into for 5 or 6 years or whatever it was, and I'm going to make a book. I don't care if it sells 1 copy, 2 copies, 0 copies. I'm making a book, and like when I pass away, you're going to remember like that dude published a book. He did the thing he wanted to do. He fully did it. And then you can go look at it whenever you want. You know what I mean? It's never going anywhere. So I made this book called Efflorescence in that period. I published it in 2021. I'm looking at it right now. The reason I titled the book that is because the definition of efflorescence, I think it has more than one definition, but one of the definitions of this word is if your artistic career is in a period of efflorescence, that means you are producing the most work of your life and it's very good. When something is in efflorescence, it is in bloom. And I just thought that was a very interesting term, and I liked the way it referred to that period of my photography career, because I felt like that period of my photography career was, like a straight up bull run, like just timeless, classic, unbelievable production of photography completely independently, pretty much. Like, I had no backing from like anyone really doing this. This is all funded by me. All the work was done by me. All the editing is done by me. All the model sourcing is done by me. You know what I mean? Finding all the models, finding all the studios, finding the locations, deciding the themes, deciding the ideas, the poses. Everything is all me. And I'm not saying the models didn't put in work, and etc. But like the lighting, the science of the lighting, everything of this was all me. It's like this. If you go look at this book, aside from the models and the subjects, of course, it's all me, dog. It's like all right, so let's go through this. Like, I shot with this model who goes by Hopeless So Frantic, and that was one of my best like gallery exhibit style photo shoots ever. Like, she's standing on top of a mirror, like it's unreal, some of those photos. There was this other chick, Nika, I shot with, and some of these people, I don't even like know their full names. I can't even like find them anymore. Like, literally, it's like crazy, like having some of these photos. I got these ones in New Jersey that I shot in some field where the girl was like curled up in the like haystack kind of thing. Looks like she's like being reborn. I always thought that was a crazy one. These ones that Hope girl in the suitcase in the Mona Lisa Studios. I got all sorts of ones, man. It goes on and on. The one of the chick hanging out the bathtub with like her face on the ground and the hair sprawled out. The one of the chick's butt like in front of the smashed TV screen. I thought like there's so much more meaning, dude, and like hidden messages that I be trying to put in these photos that I don't think people are even like fucking thinking about for like a split second. Like, there's this one of this chick, Nika, like nude on the phone with like like one of those old school like rotary phones with like the machine part like in between her legs and her hand on it. Yo, I was going crazy being provocative as a motherfucker, dog. I'm shocked I still have my account, yo. That's another part of this story. So 2019, I went to Paris, Prague, and Amsterdam and did a massive like photo operation with all sorts of incredible foreign models from, like I said, Prague, Amsterdam, and Paris. In Paris, I shot with Marie Grippin. That was incredible. Arguably, and a lot of these top tier shoots I've done are arguably like tied as like my best shoots ever. But that Marie Grippin one, I'm looking at it right now. 2 of those photos might be 2 of my best photos ever. Like that one of her laying on the floor facing forward with her head up and her lips like kind of like kissing and her hands covering her chest. Oh my, that photo's fucking incredible. So is the one of her facing the other way with her arms behind, touching her feet. Yo, y'all should buy this book. I ain't even trying to shill my shit like that. I bet you if you buy my book, you will not regret it. These photos are masterpieces, I kid you not. I promise you, if you buy my book, you won't regret it. I bet you'll go to my website and leave a testimonial. I guarantee you. And by the way, on that book, I'm only making like $20, $25 profit, even though it's over $150 or something, even for the soft cover. It's very expensive to produce a book with like 300-something pages of high-end paper with large images on it. It's not cheap. So I got more. So the whole book is just incredible. Like, and it's not just fine art. Like, but there's some incredible fine art ones at this luxury Airbnb I shot at in Prague. In LA, I shot with this chick, Sunny, I think her first name. I don't even remember for sure off top, but I did some great photo shoots with her. She had a dope ass vibe. A lot of people had shot at that Airbnb, I realized after though, in LA. So I don't know. I still love those photos, but I felt a little different about it after I saw like every influencer in the whole Instagram sphere shoot there. I was like, oh shit. So that's something I also try to be very careful of too. Like I'm very serious about like my style. Like I don't want you to get up on me. Like I want to do the craziest, most extreme shit, and I want you to sit there and be like, damn, there's nothing on earth I can do to top this, and if I want to top this guy, I gotta go fucking fly to like a different planet. Like that's the level I'm trying to take this to. Not kidding at all. So we got the live music photos I was doing for a while. I got an incredible one of WS Boogie. It's literally a masterpiece, this photo. And he works with Eminem now, signed to Interscope or Shady Records. Like I got up close and personal front row photos of Cardi B that I snuck cameras in for that are absolutely ridiculous from Foxwoods. I got photos of The Weeknd at Mohegan Sun that I snuck a camera in for that are absolutely fucking insane in this book. Just black and white, huge cloud of smoke behind him. Unbelievable. I got Sway Lee from Ray Shremmerd at Mohegan Sun. I got every titty you could ever imagine in this book. Literally, like, up close, front and center. Like, I was literally backstage, yo, at parties for years. Drunk out of my mind, just telling chicks, yo, let me take your shirt off. We got to take a crazy picture. Just over and over and over, yo. And I'm about to still do that shit, yo. No lie. Yo, I had this crazy photo of this hopeless, so frantic chick humping the mannequin and licking the mannequin, yo. Oh my God. Some of these photos are so... Dude, she was so fucking cool too. She was laughing her ass off after these photos, like literally. Some of these shits are so crazy, dog. And then at the same time, like, I feel like I towed the line so well on being, like, provocative and, like, silly, but then, like, being dead serious, like, on the next photo. Like, you know what I mean? And being, like, hyper, like, artistic. I got tons of great photo shoots with Therese, incredible model from Prague. Her friend Lilith. Also done incredible shoots with her in Paris at some crazy... Yo, her and I stayed at an insane 3-story hotel room in Paris. I think it was like the St. James or something. Yo, that shit was crazy. There was like a massive spa in the basement, a bathtub. Like, it was fucking out of... That place was a house. Yo, that was like... That trip was fucking nuts, dog. That trip was... Oh my Lord. And you know what's even crazier about that is I almost wasn't able to do that trip. I had that trip scheduled to do all sorts of shoots with one model, and then my fucking appendix nearly exploded the night before I was supposed to fly to Paris to do this huge photography operation. So I had to fucking cancel that and go get surgery and be laid up for a fucking minute, for like months, like literally not even like moving, and fucking... And that shit sucked too. That surgery fucking sucked ass, yo. The pain, like, not like you're asleep during it, but like the pain after sucked. And then freaking, I remember being in the hospital and laying there like you know, dying out, and it was crazy because I was getting a haircut when like my appendix almost burst. My boy Carlos was cutting my hair, and I'm sitting there like, yo, I'm not okay, bro. And then I went out to the car and just like went straight to the hospital, and I'm like telling the nurses at the hospital like how long is this gonna take, because I got a trip tomorrow morning to Paris. And they laughed their asses off. They're like, you ain't going to that shit, bro. And I was like, yeah, I am. Fuck you mean? So that shit got delayed for like 6 months, but that was a big accomplishment still, pulling it off, to be honest. I had this one crazy trip to Vegas with Therese where we did some insane photos in the street, yo. I don't even know how I got away with that shit. Some of this shit that I was shooting, like, I don't even know how I got away with, dog. It was so close to the edge of, like, getting, like too far. Like, dude, my fiance and I rented this absolute mansion in the Hollywood Hills, yo. My boy Tall Jesse and his friend came out to that one. We had models. Fucking Ron Jeremy showed up at the fucking place. I don't even know how that happened, bro. We had so many people at the place. Like, people were just, like, inviting people. It was insane. But I got some fucking crazy photos out of that one, too, yo. This one chick, Geisha Kid or whatever she goes by, yo, she can fucking model, and she is... Yo, her fitness was fucking nuts when I met her that time. Like, holy fuck. Then a Lilith, dude. Her and I at the what was this place called? Fuck. Maison Souquet. Oh my god, the Maison Souquet, or however you say it, in Paris. That hotel is unreal. Dude, the photos I took of her in that hotel and the spa we hung out with in there, oh my fucking god, that hotel was crazy. I'm just flipping through this whole book, yo, like, the photos in the mansion, that Hollywood Hills mansion was so crazy. We stayed there for my birthday party. There was fucking, yo, we were all getting fucked up 24/7. Like, no one was sleeping. There was people there everywhere, every day. And there was like 4 bedrooms, yo. I didn't even like know who was in that bitch half the time. Literally. Tall Jesse was there cooking shit. People were fucking, we had like one chick was like playing bartender for a little bit. That shit was the best time ever. That was the best birthday of my life. That was so fucking fun. It was unbelievable how much fun that was. That was like peak. Yo, these photos are so good. I can't even believe I shot them, dog. Y'all need to buy this book. I am not playing. I'm not playing. This photo of a Lilith with the fucking champagne covered in foam in the bathtub, dog. Then I got ones at this Airbnb I stayed at when I did the LA merch shoot back in 2019. This chick, Guzman Kova on Instagram, she is fit out of her mind too. 6-packed out. Crazy. Crazy photos. Crazy photos. Shout out to everybody that's giving me location accessibility to do these photo shoots, etc., man. I love y'all. And shout out to all the models that ever shot with me, yo. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my vision, respecting it, working with me, taking time out of your day to help me produce something that we both thought would be timeless and amazing and useful and impressive. I love y'all. Forever. I'm looking at these ones of Geisha Kid hitting the fucking bong on this beautiful furniture on the LA patio on Hollywood Hills. Yo, like, I can't even believe I've done or experienced some of this stuff, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, there was a fish tank, a vertical fish tank in this house, top to bottom, floor to ceiling. Yo, this place had to have costed like $20 million. Like, oh, man. Such good times, bro. That birthday in 2019 was so good. I'm getting back into these vibes, dog. I'm getting back into these fun, crazy, fucking don't give a fuck vibes, man. I've been fucking held down for too long by all this fucking censorship, suppression, bullshit, fucking scams in the fucking world. It's over. I'm coming back with a fucking vengeance, dog. If y'all thought I was gone from this, you're bugging. I got a camera tattooed on my goddamn hand. Where y'all think I'm going? Nowhere. I ain't going nowhere with this. My camera ain't going nowhere. My mind ain't going nowhere. My soul ain't going nowhere. My body ain't going nowhere. It ain't over, dog. Cut it out. Yo, these ones of a Lilith with the cat fucking mask, yo. Dog, so many. The vertical fish tank photos of Geisha Kid are psychotic. The St. Regis photos of Florida in New York. Yo, this photo of Carnival Fall. It's just an up-close photo, like a fine art nude of her like body. But yo, this is one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. I literally held like one of those glass refractors, whatever you call them, on the bottom half of the camera. And then I set it up so that there's 2 lights symmetrically behind each of her left and right arms. And it just looks so fucking, it's such a masterful photo. It's unreal. And then we got all the debauchery party photos that I literally ran all over the country to capture for years, yo, on a professional like basis. Like, I was not like pulling up, just taking an iPhone pic, yo. These are like frozen in time, like masterful works of art, in my opinion. Like, I really don't believe these photos will die. I think when I die, people will be looking at these photos like, yo, what was going on in that time period? Like, what the fuck? Like, And then like I had all of these multiple exposure thing I was doing. Like this chick, I think her name's Brandy. I can't remember her last name right now, but her Instagram used to be like treat her well. But I did these crazy multiple exposures of her in some like railroad track area in Norwich, I believe. And like it was like fine art nude stuff, and I just had her like stand, like I just did all different like poses. Like I had her stand really close to the camera, then back way up and do like a twisting thing, so it just looks like you're like entering someone's mind, like into a universe. It's like it's fucking pure art, man. Like at every level, the technical level, the creative level, the direction level, the randomness of the creativity level, the spontaneity of it, like everything. I got more great fine art ones of her at the sunset at some beach, I think in Rhode Island. Like I can't even remember where I shot half this shit. I've done so many shoots now with so many people. It's like the name of the game to me became just selection and making sure that you don't put out shit that isn't up to your standard, which is like really what it comes down to. Yo, I have these cool ass photos of this chick, Jasmine Diaz, that I shot at the Fontainebleau in Miami for my boy Crob's birthday. Yo, I got this crazy, there's two from here that are absolute masterpieces in my opinion. There's one of her like bent over showing her butt, like giving the middle finger to the camera, like censoring herself, which I thought was so badass and so like provocative. And then there's also this picture of her, like, which I think should be fucking framed and hung on a massive canvas at the Fontainebleau in Miami. Like, if y'all, someone send this podcast to the manager of the Fontainebleau in Miami and send him this picture of Jasmine Diaz, like, with her head back and her hair wrapped in a towel, and the beautiful blue ocean and sky in the background, and the veil of the curtain on the left side before her body. Like, yo, this is a masterpiece. This should be hung at the Fontainebleau. What is all this pussy shit? We're putting up photos of bananas and apples. Fuck that. Put up a fucking beautiful nude photo of a hot model in the hotel. People will hang out there. I promise you. People will take pictures in front of this shit. Like, what's the problem? Who cares? Like, they do it at museums. Like, why are we so scared of all this shit? Why? That's another thing we gotta talk about here. Why are we all so scared of the human body? Why has the human body been censored to the degree that you can't post a nipple on fucking Instagram? Why does that matter? What is that doing for anyone in humanity other than suppressing the creativity, the potential creativity that every one of us has flowing through us, waiting to burst out? Like, why can we not post? Why can a girl not post her boobs on Instagram? It's like the most insane, retarded shit. So Mark Zuckerberg is just in control of the world's titties now? Go fuck yourself, Zuck. Fuck you. I'm taking pictures of anything I want. I'll publish it anywhere I want. You can give me a bunch of AI strikes on everything all you want. I don't care. I'm shooting what I want forever because it's my photography. I paid for the camera, and this is my mind and my life. And y'all should have that exact same attitude with everything with this shit. Real talk. I'm not even trying to be crazy or angry. I love this shit. I love photography. I love the arts more than you guys could ever imagine. This shit runs through my veins, dog. It's pumping through my veins every goddamn minute. My house looks like a fucking museum. You guys don't get it. I'm obsessed with this shit. I live for it. I want to die as a great artist. That's all I want you to remember me as. Nothing else. The greatest artist and or investor maybe. And that's all just because my dad's an accountant and I want to be a better investor than him. So, yo, I got these great, like, I forget the exact term, like body profiles of this chick Willa Vanilla. I got some really cool double exposure Louis Vuitton shots of Monique. I got some crazy, like, Basquiat-esque double exposures of that chick Monique. I shot Smoke Perp at some college Halloween party I got hired to do. I got these beautiful masterpieces with Anna from Prague. Cassie Punzo ballerina I shot with. Incredible photo I got with her with this beautiful purple and gold ornate chair at Mona Lisa Studios. It's another fire ass shoot. And that, like, yo, shout out to all those dancers that were willing to work with my crazy weirdo ass. Thank you guys. Appreciate it because we did some great stuff together. I worked with some of these LA models with the Kirill merch shoot. The cocaine one, that's a funny one, yo. Please don't do cocaine in the bathroom, yo. Yo, some of these shoots are so dope, man. I did some shots with that. I think her name's Hannah or Lane or something. I got some real cool ones of her, like gothic kind of lighting, and like she's got all the tattoos. That shit's super fucking cool, man. And I got a cool one of her like wrapped in an American flag. That shit's dope. Yo, I still can't remember that fucking blonde porn star's name that I photographed, yo. It's crazy too, because I actually like think she's kind of hot. What the fuck is this chick's name, yo? I literally can't remember, yo. It's like Natalia some shit. What is this chick's last name, dog? I can't remember for my life. Hold up. I'll figure it out right now. It pisses me off. I think it's Star, actually. Is it? Yeah, it's Natalia Star. Yo, it just took me 45 fucking minutes to remember that. But yeah, yo, she was fucking hilarious. Yo, she's cool as fuck. She was awesome to shoot with, yo. But yeah, I got a funny ass picture of her laying on the fucking, laying down backwards, laughing her ass off after she fell off the fucking mechanical bull. There's pictures of a chick with fucking air fresheners hanging from her nipples, yo. I can't believe I shot any of this shit, dog. Like, how the fuck did this even happen? What the fuck? I got Simon Rex holding up a sweater that says, "This is the only thing I had with no cum on it." Yo. Oh my god. And then towards the end of the book, you just got straight debauchery photos. Like, milk all over people in public. I was going so crazy during these parties. I was like 20 shots deep in the middle of these parties, like yelling at people, "Take your fucking clothes off and shit," to get a photo. And fucking, I'm literally doing like triple exposure, like insane thought out photographs while I'm in the midst of this like alcoholic like war zone, bro. Like, y'all have no idea how far I was going with that shit. For real, man. The Amsterdam photos I got were dope. I'm nearing the end of the book now. Some more NYC shit. Some crazy more abandoned shit in Connecticut. Or I think that might have also been Norwich, actually. And yeah, man, it closes off with my girl holding a rose. But yeah, bro. That book is that shit. So, yo, y'all should go to my photography website. And y'all should go to the digital products page on the top right, or in the menu if you're on mobile, I guess. And you should check out my book. You can click the image of it, or you can click the link that says "click here to purchase." It'll bring you to the website where you can purchase it in soft cover or hardcover. It is not cheap. It's over $150 for either, but it is 220 pages. It's very high quality paper. And it's some of the best photography you'll ever see in your life. I kid you not. And it's done all independently. There's no corporation behind this. There's nobody pushing this. There's no finesse. There's no scam. It's me, real artistry, real pure like creativity, with nobody else behind it but yours truly, Kevin Thomas Jachimowicz at k.jachimowicz. So go buy my book. $165 for the softcover, $186 for the hardcover. Honestly, I think that's not a bad deal because you're getting 220 full-size images on high-quality print paper, potentially hardcover book, and you can use this as a coffee table book. The cover is beautiful. You know, you can show this to your friends when they come over and be like, holy shit, look how fucking crazy this all is. It's literally a journey through my life, through the nightlife worlds, through the modeling worlds, through all these little kind of niche industries. And it's me like just maximalist photography of like insanity in a lot of these situations. And there's a lot of different genres in there. I think you guys should fucking check it out. And even if you don't check it out, you're always welcome. You know, even if you don't check out the physical version, which I think holds something special over the digital version. But, you know, obviously there's pros and cons to each. Like you can update a digital, you know, portfolio anytime, whereas a physical one you can't. But this book is like kind of my magnum opus. So I definitely think you guys should check it out, and I'd appreciate it if you would. And if any of you go buy it, that'd be amazing. And I thank you and salute you for it. And I hope I can make an Efflorescence 2 or a second photography book of some sort once I've amassed another 5 or 6 years of absolute chaotic, unbelievable, impossible to get content. But it's a lot easier said than done. And also, this is like kind of off the cuff and random, but I'm just about to go through like my own website and look through, the digital newer stuff that isn't in the book. And I want to make a big shout out to Este Maria, who has given me numerous opportunities to do music video photo shoots for her band, like behind the scenes. I've done photo shoots for her band, the Up All Nighters, live like a handful of times now. This has involved me getting new networking connections locally from, people in the bands, as well as connections as far as like I got to meet the Chainsmokers and take a photo of them backstage. I got to photograph 50 Cent on stage and these are all at Big Night Live. And these are just really cool opportunities. And like some of the photos I've taken of her band members are nuts. Like there's one photo of one of the members, I can't remember all their names individually. I mean, I've met so many people now, but one of the, I think, saxophone or trumpet players is like holding the trumpet on his right shoulder, and there's just light beaming behind him, but it's a total silhouette. You just can't even see him, but these photos are incredible, man. I'm telling you guys. I'm getting back into this, guys. I'm about to get back into this. I'm taking my artistry and taking control back of every part of my life. This whole last few, like 4 whatever years has just been like a fucking suppression fest. And the ruling class is so blatantly trying to rob everyone of their time, scare them out of doing everything. People are scared to do a podcast like this. People are terrified. Everyone's absolutely terrified of public humiliation. No one's comfortable doing anything creative anymore and throwing themselves out there or just like recording a song, saying something publicly. Everybody. It sucks. I hate that. But I'm getting back into it. I'm about to start getting back after it somehow, some way. And I'm about to start shooting for the highest levels there are. I want to go down as the fucking Eminem or Basquiat or something of photography. And I want to make a rap album this year too. I'm not kidding at all. I'm actively doing that on almost a daily basis too. I'm working on recording music. And sure, it's probably not that great, but I'm doing what I can with that. So back to the photography though. So let's go back to this portfolio. Let's go through some of these sections one by one. So we talked about a lot of the fine art stuff. I think I covered most of this. Most of these are in the book. I honestly haven't shot fine art stuff in a while. And that's one of the things, too, that gets harder about getting older, is like you start getting into your, start getting older, is not as many, fine art models, like your age really, like around actively shooting, and everything's all just also becomes about, money and power and, as you get older. But yeah, there's been so many, man. I've worked with so many different models. I actually think it was really good for me to record this podcast today and to take a minute and really appreciate what I've accomplished here, because I think it's a lot bigger than certain people in my life kind of led me to believe. And also, like, shout out to some of these other models, like Asinka Luxova, I think her name was. Shout out to her. Worked with her in Prague. Got a really cool photo of her in like a full fishnet outfit in the middle of the street in Prague. It's a really badass photo. Emily Juicy, I got some dope photos of her at some beach in Connecticut. I couldn't even tell you what beach, but I got a really good photo of her there. And I was editing the shit out of photos back then. Like, not like people, but like the colors and hues. And like, I was going so above and beyond. I don't think people like realize unless they go back and look through this whole website. Like, seriously. Oh, and another cool one I did, shout out to Impossible Kicks. Even though I haven't talked to those guys in a bit, but I still be talking to one of them a bit. But I set up this whole shoot. Like, I got hired to do a shoot for this brand, and I was kind of doing like product inventory photography for them for a period of like a half a year or something like that too. And they sent me and one of their other employees to Orlando, Florida. And they the owner, I believe he's the owner of this company, or one of the owners, gave me basically full reign to do anything I wanted with the photo shoot. Like, he just had people deliver boxes of clothing to wherever I said, and I literally just went and booked an absolute mansion on Airbnb, or Peerspace, excuse me, for a photo shoot that had a Ferrari at it that we could use for the shoot, had a pool, lake, jet skis, all this fucking unbelievable shit, snakes. So we hauled like a fucking like RV over there filled with fucking or not an RV, like a Sprinter or whatever, over there with all this, like dozens of boxes of inventory of clothing. Nice stuff too. I mean, pretty nice stuff. And we just banged out like an incredible photo shoot with like really high-end influencers and models. And shout out to all of them for being willing to sit in front of my camera and take some of my direction. This girl, Nikki Andrea, I took incredible photos with her. Shout out to her. I think this person's name was Nate. I'm blanking. Hold up. Yeah, sorry. That's Nathan K. Webb, the guy in some of those photos. And I believe he was on like a bunch of shit too. He's a really cool dude. He's mad funny. And he was mad chill. He's a really chill, really composed, cool dude. And he's fucking jacked, bro. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been on some like Netflix shows and shit. I think a couple of these people were on like some Netflix reality show. I'm not like super into TV, but there was this dude, Chad Too Clean, who I'm not sure if he works for Impossible Kicks or what, but I got some cool photos of him too. Ali Martinez, Carly Lawrence, and Bennett, her man. All great photos of all of them. Cindy, what was her last name? Hold up. Sydney Moreau. Yeah, I got some really cool photos of her too. And I believe she's also like been involved in a lot of big brand shoots and things of that nature. And yeah, she was actually really cool to work with too. She's like really into fitness. She works with a bunch of those fitness brands. Like all these were like really cool connections for me to make, and just experiences to get to partake in. It was pretty incredible. And then after kind of all this, things kind of slowed down a little bit naturally, and I started rethinking how I was operating, and I wanted to get more serious about it and not just run around so much everywhere, basically. And I did a couple weddings, realized that weddings aren't exactly my favorite thing to shoot. Not anything against weddings or anyone getting married, just I'm really into action photography, and wedding photography feels very like kind of corporate, and I really like being like a very independent artist. And I feel like it's hard to maintain your independence and like your true artistry nowadays because things are so controlled. You have to really fight. It's crazy. So shout out to all the people, like I said once or twice or 3 times already, that I've worked with that have been willing to work with me. I'm talking about makeup artists, stylists, studio owners, influencers, models that are above me in the media world. Like companies like the Impossible Kicks, Kirill's company, Alice and Olivia, the stylists from there, and all the people that worked with me when I was a nobody in this, completely just desperate. Like, thank you guys for working with me, because a lot of it paid off pretty well, and my photography skills and my portfolio are just a dream to me. Like, this is some what I've created here is something I never thought I could do. I never in my life thought I could pull this off. To have my own photography book, my own photography website, my own podcast that I record daily. I'm putting out music on Apple Music. The way I was raised and the way society brainwashed me, I never thought I could do these things. And a huge part of it was based off of time being like robbed just from like scrolling all day, and like the fear that creates of like, it like creates this weird like inaction behavior where you're just like constantly like looking for like approval or something instead of just fucking going and doing whatever you want, which is the way it's supposed to be. Like, we weren't put on earth or born or designed to like sit here waiting for Mark Zuckerberg to say, okay, you're allowed to say this word and post that picture and this picture. We were born to pursue whatever the fuck's going on inside of us individually, personally, like our intuition, our spirit, our mind. not like a fucking Instagram algorithm. So that's where my head's at about that. And so after all those years of probably 6+7 years of doing nonstop, like high octane photography, like traveling everywhere, every minute, 24/7, being freaking drunk half the time, like literally no sleep all the time, I started wisening up a little bit. I got into like meditating and etc. and fitness, and I lost a lot of weight, which I needed to because I was not living with a good diet, which is tough to reverse in the beginning, but then once you get going, it's easy to follow and awesome to follow. And I'll make more podcasts about the health and fitness stuff eventually because that's a whole nother journey I went through. So it kind of transitioned from here where I went and I got a 9 to 5 after a while, and I worked as a camera repair technician for a company in Enfield that is kind of like a subsidiary almost of like Sony, or like a third party, like offshoot repair company, or I don't know what the correct proper term would be for how to, state that. But I went and I worked for them for 2 years, I think. And I don't know the exact like days, but I worked with them for 2 years approximately. And I learned how to go in and out of every Sony camera there is, basically, and all the way down to replacing the sensor glass, like literally like using tweezers and changing the top layer of the sensor glass instantaneously, perfectly, to the point that no dust gets under, no dust gets in, etc., etc. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole. If you guys ever want to ask me questions about Sony cameras, I'm not the biggest fan of them, the mirrorless cameras, because there is a piece of equipment inside of the Sony mirrorless cameras called the, I think it's like the imager block assembly or some shit like that, or I can't remember the term. I haven't worked there now for like 6 months, but there's this sheet of glass that goes on top of the sensor, but it's not perfectly sealed all the way around. So a lot of these Sony mirrorless cameras are getting dust underneath underneath the glass top of the sensor immediately, like upon purchase, like within days. And there's no way to have it fixed other than sending it in for repair, having it completely disassembled, and having the dust blown off the sensor with compressed air, and replacing the glass and hoping that it doesn't just happen again in 3 minutes. So FYI, guys, beware of that if you listen this far. Get a fucking DSLR Nikon, in my opinion. Go fucking old school, literally. And I know there's speed differences and all that, and there's massive pros and cons on both sides of that. But I got a Nikon D850. I ain't giving that motherfucker up till the wheels fall off. And when the wheels do fall off of that thing, I'll probably go buy another one if I can find one used. Like when I find something good that works for me, I never give it up. Ever. And in that Nikon D850, I've brought that thing through straight up war zones. Sandstorms, freaking champagne storms, rainstorms. That thing's been through hell and back, bro. I've fallen face first with it in my hand and nearly destroyed it while drunk as hell at the club standing on a couch. Yes, that's a fact. That actually happened. That camera's been through everything. That camera's my everything. And the shit it created is me. So past the learning to repair cameras and everything, which was a cool layer of it too, like learning how the business of, the camera industry works, and the materials and the manufacture and the repair, and how that whole, business angle goes. That was interesting. It wasn't my favorite experience ever culture-wise, but I don't have a problem with those people at the end of the day, even though I was annoyed at the time. And I still do appreciate that experience, even though it ended the way it ended. But and then so now after that, I kind of transitioned into a more selfish kind of approach to my photography, and I started being like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of taking photos of everybody else. I feel like I'm giving a lot and not making a ton of money, despite getting a decent amount of engagement and viewership and networking and connections and etc. And some gigs, ton of gigs over the years, but it's just, I live in Connecticut in a suburb. So it's like, there isn't a lot going on. So if I want to go do like gigs every day, I got to drive to like other states. Like, there isn't like a lot going on. And I really am very serious about the quality control here. So like if your event isn't the best fucking event or like the wildest event ever, like I don't even want to fucking be there. And I don't even mean that in a fucked up way. I'm just saying like I'm looking for the best of the best in everything. Like when I do a photo shoot, I'm trying to undercut the whole world and find the best model in the world that nobody's seen yet and get the best thing out of her and find the best stylist, get the best outfits, get the best location and do the craziest lighting and concept and meaning and symbolism that anyone's ever fucking seen or experienced in their lives, to the point that you're so overwhelmed, you're like, this guy's the best fucking photographer I've ever seen. He's the GOAT. That's my mission. But so when I said the whole selfish thing, I kind of just transferred into doing like some self-portrait photography. Like I brought my camera and I rented a really nice Manfrotto tripod with like a ball head on it and brought it to Las Vegas with me. And we also did shoots in Arizona, in Paradise Valley and Sedona with just my camera, not with a tripod, but like my fiance and I did shoots there. And then we said, you know what, we want like engagement and couple shoots of ourselves, and we don't want to pay anyone. So we went and we got we just rented a tripod for a week, and just brought my camera and rented another lens that we wanted to get like wider stuff with. And we did photos on the balcony of the Cosmopolitan with the Bellagio fountains in the background. Didn't have to pay a dime to anybody. We went and did a camel safari private photo shoot. One of the most incredible experiences of my life. My family's been collecting camels and stuff their entire lives, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the collecting a step farther, and I'm going to go get a photo shoot engagement style or couple style done with my fiance of us reining the camels like we're leading them around. Like I'm trying to take everything in the world to the next level with my photography. Like, and I know I can always go farther, and there's always more little meta things you can do to go farther, whether it's editing or there's a million different angles you can try to pursue to make things more intriguing and etc. So I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about here. And I hope you guys enjoyed my hearing about my photography journey and just everything that went into that and all the experiences and cool things and amazing, talented people I got to work with and ideas that came out of it and things I got to see. And, and shout out to all the DJs I've worked with and shot for. Like Vinny Vibe hired me once or twice. DJ Skills, I think, also a few times. Like, shout out to everybody, man. Because I can't even believe what my portfolio is. It's literally unbelievable to me. And I feel like, for example, like I see so many people, and I'm not hating, but I see so many people like feel pressure to like post on Instagram or pressure to like for their next post, or I got to post this soon or people are going to forget about me. Nah, do the reverse, yo. Post once a year if you have to, but make it the best photo anyone in their lives has ever taken a look at. Less is more. Quality is everything. And with that, I leave you guys. So, hope you enjoyed my photography journey again. Follow me on Instagram at k.jachimowicz. Check out my photography website, k.jachimowicz.com. You can see my whole portfolio there digitally. If you go to the digital products section, you can buy my book on sale right now. I'm literally not even making hardly any profit at all if you go buy that. I think you would really enjoy it, and I think it's a really cool coffee table item. And I think guests at your house would even be intrigued by it and be like fascinated. And you yourself would also probably be fascinated. So thanks again, guys. Follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen. Follow the Instagram at k.jachimowicz. Follow me on X at k.jachimowicz. I'm going to start doing more reporting and posting, etc. there. Probably more about political stuff and like world stuff, but Instagram's more like my visual media stuff. But thank you gues again. If any of you that have worked with me are willing to leave a testimonial and have listened this far, like please feel free to hit me up and we can organize that. And go check out that book, Efflorescence. I know it's from 2021, but it's timeless. I promise you. Have a good day, y'all. Wait, I almost forgot. I got one last thing to say before I end this. My photography journey is far from over. Bye.